Dr. Stephanie Wynn. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad. You know I love you. You know I love you.
You're so wonderful. I love
So we're talking about 2022. We have a lot to talk about. And your area of expertise, if we had to introduce you, you're an expert in the area of relationships.
Absolutely.
Tell us more.
I am counselor, coach, consultant. So I have been in the field of counseling and coaching for. I have been in the field of counseling and coaching for 20 plus years. So in counseling, I help people overcome traumas, depression, anxiety. In coaching, I deal with relationships between men and women, families as well. And consulting, I help companies to identify how their relationships with their clients give them, or with their staff, give them a better profitable line. So love it. I work with, mostly my focus is I work with a grown and sexy, successful woman. She is the one who is the problem solver. She is the go-getter. She is that lady. That's who I work with. Exactly. You, yes, Tracy, you would be, yes, absolutely. So that's who I work with. So what I find is we as women, especially Black women, we have so many irons in the fire that we have made successful, and we tend to miss what we need to do in our relationships with our men. So it's difficult to understand men if your focus has always been to compete with them.
Well, it's very interesting that you said that. And so we're talking about 2022. We're going to be talking about people wanting to live their best life in 2022 to accomplish goals. And a lot of relationships have been stressed throughout the pandemic. And so you just said something that was golden. It's hard for successful women sometimes who've amplified their masculine energy and have you leveraged that to be successful in business to then, really tap into that feminine energy. That's actually been a journey I've been on for a few years, and it makes such a difference, right? When you're able to tap into your feminine energy, there's something a lot more magnetic to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your feminine energy is power. And what has happened is our femininity has been challenged. It's often considered weak or less than. But if you know how to use it, it's magnetizing, it's uplifting, it's strengthening. And unfortunately, this is a man's world, as James Brown would say. But it's definitely something that has been missing. And you find that businesses who are able to access that in their staff and their employees, be able to access that feminine strength, are much more profitable.
Okay, so now I'm going to have you move from businesses to women. So, the last session, we had 3 women, 4 coaches on. One of the coaches said, I am hugely successful. We think about that success wheel, that success life wheel.
Yes.
You're looking at the areas of your life, deciding, I focused on my business and I focused on my family and I focused on, my community and my spirituality and my wellness and my health. But as it relates to love relationships, this lady said, I'm over 35 and single, and that's the area she wanted to work on. So now we're going to ask you to pause right now, and for her and other women who are saying, I've done this other work, what are some of the words of wisdom that you would share with these ladies about, their next step? What's some success strategies, we'll call them?
It's a connection to it. And that's why I started with the businesses, because I'm talking to women of success, and that's how I usually lead in, because it's your business that they talk about, but it really leads on the woman. It's really about you being able to access who you are, being able to look inside yourself, find where you are in your space. So often, as that coach said, because I was watching that episode and listening in, she said she focused on this and this and this and this. And my question would have been to her is, when did you focus on you?
She didn't. She made a point of specifically saying, I didn't. She's like, right? As a certified success coach, we're trained to look at those all areas of your life, honestly. And she's like, I didn't focus on that at all. And now I'm ready to. Like, she didn't have the energy to, now she's ready to. So if she's ready, now what advice? She's ready to focus. I said, well, look, I'll be your wing girl. We're going to work this one out. This is easy.
Right. I love you said that.
We're going to be intentional. We're going to work it out. I'm like, I have her working on her list of her ideal man. I was like, I want you to visualize them, talk it out, tell us what that is, and put it out into the universe.
I love it. But I would back you up a step.
Please, yes.
I want her to, and you, and all women listening, to visualize their ideal selves first. We look for the ideal man, but does he actually fit what we are? Do we know what we are? So that's the first step, is to do some introspection, to look at yourself, to really find out where you are and where you're going. What do you want? What do you need? What do you desire?
Right.
That's the first thing. So she's still looking outside. She's haven't gone inside.
So she would say that she has gone inside. So when you listen to her, I'm just going to fill in the gaps, and then we're going to continue to work this process. But what she said was, I spiritually, they both actually said, a couple of the ladies actually were talking about it. Maybe that was just some offline conversations as well. But live on the interview, she basically said, I have focused on my physical wellness. I work out twice a week. I've been spiritually connected closer to, my heavenly Father. She talked about the work that she's done. She's got people working for her, supporting the work she's doing. So she's basically, now I've done all the things, and I'm very comfortable with where I am and who I am. Now I'm ready.
So that would be the question. Who are you? Would be the question I would ask. So, and many times we stumble with that. What if you, for example, now in her case, she didn't have any children. So if you weren't doing the work that you're doing, what would you do? If you could do something that you would not get paid for, what would you do? If there were 3 things that you could take with you in your next level, what would they be? Those are the types of questions you can answer for yourself. You really think about that. Okay, so who am I? A lot of times I have moms, and they don't know outside of being a wife and a mother. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a PhD, I'm a business owner, I am this, I am that, but it's not really getting down to the heart of it. And this takes some work. This is real high level stuff I'm talking about right here. When you're talking to yourself, what are you saying? When you make a mistake, when you mess up something, you cause a negative situation to happen, what do you say to yourself? What do you call yourself? A lot of women, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, that was terrible. Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to say that, these are coaches who are very positive people. And so there's not a whole lot of self-talk, negative self-talk, because our role, and that's part of what she said she does and has been doing for years, is coaching other people, like helping other people. That's one of the things she said she loves to do. So I feel like
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I just feel like she's definitely, she and I would probably answer some of the questions similarly, and that, like, I'm called to coach. Like, I am called to help people. I know exactly why I was put on this earth. I am doing it. Like you said, what would I do for free? I'm doing it for free because it's like, I am called to change the world. Right now, I'm like, oh, I better add some financial remuneration to the work that I'm doing. I'm okay with it. But I've been so busy saying, and that's a perfect place to be, like to say, I'm doing it because I love to do it. I'm doing it because I'm called to do it. I'm doing it because there's a need in the universe. That term ikigai, the Japanese term for finding your purpose in life, your perfect existence, is those intersection of those four circles, right? Where you do what you love, you do it well, you fulfill a need in the universe, and you can get paid to do it. That's like the intersection of your profession, your vocation, right? All the things. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we're both there.
I love that. And that's where most of my clients are. And then we go into, you notice how when you talk, you say you. When I talking to you, I asked you about I. So that's one of the things that we look at. It's a much deeper dive than that we do with it. But I definitely love that coaches are positive. That's what they do, but they do it for other people. They don't do it for themselves as much. You'll find when you're at home sometime tonight, you're just going, oh, that was so stupid. Uh-oh, that's exactly what she was talking about.
Yeah.
You'll catch it.
So what I love about what you're saying is you're basically saying for anyone, you don't want people to I'll just use the term take an express lane to entering a relationship, right? If you're not in one. These are again, both of these ladies that you had on the screen, two of the four were single and ready. Like, I'm gonna say ready in their minds, ready to make that an area where they begin to focus on. Positive ladies, just based on my interactions with them. And so I'm going to ask you to fast forward, assuming that they're positive, assuming that they've done the work, assuming that they are ready to enter into a relationship. Then what's next?
Well, then they have to identify where they're going to put themselves to be found. So they're not going to find their man, he's going to find them. That's why the initial level is very important, because that's how you magnetize. You magnetize your masculine man, the man who's going to be the leader and protector. Then you have to be ready to know, what are your stop points? Are you going to not date him because he's something physical that you don't want? He's not 6'5", or he's not, whatever, he's not chocolatey enough. I don't know, what do you do? You have to identify your stop points, and then identify, why are they stop points? I have a gentleman who in my network who is, he's about 5'6", 5'7", something like that. Good looking, well put together guy. But if you're looking for the 6 foot man, 6'1", 5, 6, 7, whatever, you're going to look right over him. And he is a wonderful man, wonderful provider, wonderful father, and he is single. He'll be at my conference coming up. So that would be the next point. Identify what are your stop points. Identify where you would go so that you can find that mate. What are you doing in your life? And I just did a live on this. I do lives on Instagram on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And one of the things that we just talked about is, where do you find the guy who's not intimidated by you? So that was a question that someone gave me. And you find him on your path doing the things that you love. For example, you, Tracy, are a wonderful businesswoman, and you are leader of the Black MBA Association. Did I get that right?
It's the National Black MBA Association, Seattle chapter. Yes.
Seattle. Absolutely. Absolutely. So there you are looking at a number of men in your line, right? So maybe one of the other presidents of the chapters across the country might be your guy, So That's one of the things. You have to know what you want to do. Get into your space, get in line of what you're doing, and that's where you'll find him. He could be at the grocery store, so don't go to the grocery store with your hair undone and some rollers or a bonnet or something. Don't do that. Go to the grocery store looking like you want to look, because you may find a chef. Go to the store. So maybe you're interested in healthy eating, so go to your Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and Sprouts and all of those types of stores where you can find that healthy food and that guy who's interested in the healthy. You see what I mean?
I hear you. I do. I'm loving it. These ladies are gonna love this. They're gonna absolutely love it, especially when these are professional women who have just been so focused on getting it done. Whatever that it is for them, following their passions, living their best lives, doing exactly what they know they were meant to do. When you're in that space, there is something truly, we call it being in the flow. You know what I mean, right? So when you're in the flow and you're doing your thing, there is something truly magnetic about that, right?
It is.
In general. You lose track of time, you lose focus. So basically, you're also saying don't lose focus while you're doing those things. Keep your eyes open. That's what you're telling these ladies.
Absolutely. Keep your eyes open and then start practicing. Start putting into place those magnetic practices. For example, smiling at every man you see. Look at that beautiful smile. Absolutely. That's powerful right there. Smiling at every man, not just the ones that you are attracted to. Smile at everyone. First, you are now giving a gift to a man. You are smiling at him. You could just brighten his day. He may have been down, but here's a person, this beautiful woman smiling at me. What? All right. And he'll walk a little taller. Let him open the door for you and then say to him, thank you so much, with that smile. Let him do something for you. So this isn't the guy that you're dating necessarily. These are just general guys you're walking through the store, making sure that you say thank you, or you're walking, whatever, you understand? I was walking, I live in a building with several complexes, condos. And I was taking the garbage out one day, struggling because I hate to take the garbage out, and had to do it myself this time. And it was a gentleman that came on and said, hey, you need some help with that. So it was two of us, we were myself and a neighbor, and she was also taking her garbage out. So that was our time to walk and talk. And she was like, no, I got it. And I was like, oh, yes, you are my hero today. Thank you so much. And this young man, he took my garbage, and he was proud to carry my He was proud to carry my garbage. He took it, and I said, oh, thank you so much. And I smiled at him, and you could just see him stand taller, and there was no way that there was going to be any relationship with that young man. He was probably 20 years younger than me, but if you're 20 years older, that's different, but 20 years younger, no.
Well, what I'm hearing you say is, and I totally agree with you 150%, is that we as women, especially women who've been in the business world, who are so used to leveraging our masculine energy to be successful in business, it's like put on your girly, whatever that might be. Even the smile is a girly ass, that's your feminine, magnetism, and turn it on, keep it on. Don't ever dim your light, basically, is what I'm hearing you say. Never dim your light. So from this, practice, and I agree with that 100%. Like, that is how I actually move through the universe, just so that, I think I told you this. I'll put it on the video too. But I actually moved through the universe that way, in a very positive way. But I just ended a relationship that I've been in for 14 years. So even though I moved through the universe very, happy and smiley, and thank you, you're my hero. That would have been a natural way of me speaking to your point. Like, this is not new. So I do kind of move through the universe that way, but I've not been like out scoping, for a new man in my life or anything like that. What you're telling women is that should be how you move through life, period.
Absolutely. That's magnetizing. That will bring the men to you. And then you are the one to choose. That would be the next thing. You make the choice. So many times I hear women say, oh, I don't know if he likes me or he wants me. I want you to make an adjustment in that thought and decide, I don't know if I like him, if he has what I need. So as opposed to you being what he needs, you are already that. You know that once you've gotten that first level, that first layer down that we already talked about, now you've smiling, you got that level down. Now you want to make sure that you're paying attention. So when you're dating, for example, and you don't want to just date one at a time. You're doing too much attention on that one. You want to have a pair and a spare.
What? Yes. Hold on. You said that too fast. You have to slow down. These are things this is your world. Yes. But for those of us who have either been out of the dating game or so busy working and living our best lives, this is not something that that is a normal. So I'm going to have you pause, slow down, and say that again. And then that is not a normal mindset for women.
It is not a normal mindset.
Say it again.
You're immediately ready to, as women, we immediately ready to give. We're immediately ready to put our focus on someone. I don't want you to focus on one person until that person has made some type of commitment to you. So a pair and a spare is the rule. Now, let me preface that by saying
a pair and a spare. Hold on. Yes. A pair and a spare means that magnetism is on at all times.
Yes.
You're looking at all times, apparently not seeking. You're just being your wonderful magnetic self, and universe will bring
and you are enjoying your space. You are enjoying the company of a man or the man that you are with at that moment, but not sleeping with. No, that does not. Dating, let me just put this clear. Yes. Dating does not mean sex. You do not have to have sex with everyone that you date. It is preferable that you do not.
It is preferable. I agree. I'm a prude. So I realize I've had a very limited number of relationships because I'm like, that is right. I get it right. Right.
Right. And that now there will be men that say, no, you're not giving it up. The next one will. He is not
for you, your
guy. Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
Totally agree.
That's okay, because what you have in that is, as a woman, you connect very easily through sex. So you do not want
to go there. Yes,
exactly.
Not early. And I think it's so important to say that, especially for me. Like I said, I just have a different mindset. Someone told me early in my life that I was more precious than silver and gold, and I dared to believe that. Right?
I love it. I
am the gift. So someone gave me that information. So I don't approach relationships like most people do. Right? When I'm in, I'm all in. Like I treasure my man.
And that's right. That's the thing. When you're in, you're all in. That's why you don't.
But it takes me a while to get in.
Exactly. And that's what it is. You don't immediately go all in. And most of the time, especially as business women, myself an entrepreneur, we tend to go all in when we're doing something because we're getting to the goal. That is a slow down process. Now he will ask. He will definitely be interested in having some much more physical
deeper level of intimacy.
Absolutely. And definitely when you get to that commitment where you are both agreeing that it will be just you and just him. Now, personally, I believe in marriage, but some people don't. And if that's where you are, that's fine. But you have to have that agreement, not I think he's my man, not I'm saying he's my man because we've been together. No. There must be a conversation, communication that indicates it's me and it's you. We're not seeing anyone else. Let's see where we go from here. Absolutely.
You know what I love about that, I've spoken to about 3 or 4 recently women, and 3 or 4 women recently who shared how different the mindset is now. And it's like, ew. Ew. Like, so it's almost like if they don't women, if you don't approach this with some set of standards,
right,
you have to have your standards and know. And what was it? I think it was Steve Harvey who wrote the book, Act Like a Woman and Think Like a Man.
Yes.
Right. Yes. That was a good book.
It is a good book. Right. It is a good book.
But he talked about the same thing. Like when a man is in it to win it, he's in, and he has no problem making a commitment. And so it's the woman who holds out, basically, I have to use that term, but who holds herself to a higher level, higher standard. Holding out is about holding yourself to a higher standard. Those two things are equivalent. You don't let anyone make you feel uncomfortable for holding yourself to a higher standard, and you make it clear from the beginning, so you don't have to have the conversation.
Exactly.
This is who I am.
And he will absolutely rise to that. He will either rise to that or he will prove himself unworthy.
Say it again, girl. Say it again. Say it again. When you set high standards,
he will rise to that or he will prove himself unworthy.
Girl, you better tell the truth. He will either rise to that or prove himself unworthy. I honestly know that there's some women who maybe have never had, I'm going to call these sister girl conversations.
Absolutely. See, this is why we start with the self, identifying what the self is, because we don't know where our thought processes come from. We hold into our minds what our parents did or our aunties or someone like that, what they did, but we have never taken the opportunity for ourselves. So that's why it goes there. You can't hold yourself to a higher standard if you don't realize how valuable you are. So that's why that groundwork is very important. Absolutely. So those are some of the things I would say. Definitely making sure that you first know yourself, identify yourself, find your own structure. And many of us need therapy. We've experienced some traumas in our lives, so our thinking process is not as healthy as it could be. So if that's the thing, get that. Many of us need coaching just because we've never had these sister girlfriend conversations, and we need someone. I love that, the sister girlfriend conversations.
Right.
And it's true. And so we need a coach. That's fine. They use coaches all the time in sports. Why not in the participation of relationship? Far more important. So knowing yourself, then being on your path so that you can meet him on your path, doing your thing. That way, there's something in common because you've met in an environment that's very similar. And then from there, not focusing on one person when there's been no commitment, have the pair and the spare. That way, you're not giving your whole heart before the whole heart space is available to give. Making sure that you are learning about yourself and about dating and conversations. That's what the pair and the spare. Keeping your legs closed in the process. Because you don't have to sleep with a man to identify whether or not he is the guy that you will be interested in allowing in your space. You can definitely do that. So those are some of the things for sure that I would just give those pointers. This is a overarching top look down kind of situation right now.
I love it. They're gonna love this. So women, you heard it here. These are the top level going into a relationship. Now I'm going to take you to the next phase. So now you have a woman who has been dating several men, right? The spare and the, what'd you call it? That's
pair and a spare.
The what? The pair and the
pair
spare.
And a spare.
Mm-hmm. Pair and a spare. Wow, this is good to know. I'm
not sleeping with, just dating.
You're just dating. You're just getting to know these individuals. And I think don't take the time to actually get to know the person. Exactly. Sex does not make the person a different person. It just wrecks up your numbers.
it gets us as women, it gets us so connected and confused. First of all, if it's good sex, oh boy, that's it just gets your mind all messed up.
It's a distraction.
It's a distraction
from what actually who this person might actually be.
Exactly. Right?
It's like, oh my goodness. That exactly. But, right. I thought X. No, you felt X. You didn't think.
There was you did not think about that at all.
You didn't think about it at all.
Exactly.
It confuses the situation. Exactly. It's like there's some information. So if a woman, if this is new to someone, I know it will be new to some women, right? This is how I roll.
I love it.
For sure. But again, I haven't been out there for a while either. So I'm kind of excited. I get to do a pair and a spare. Oh my goodness. Okay, man, you heard it here first. A pair and a spare. Just so. Until you prove yourself worthy. I love that. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be plenty of men in your comments like, what is that? You talking about what? Remember, not sleeping with, just getting to know.
Getting to know.
And now listen. Yes. Men also date more than one person at a time. So that's why the conversation of commitment must be agreed upon mutually, not you thinking that this is what's happening because you did something with them. Yeah, just putting that out there. So now we're talking about the woman who's in a relationship.
I just think that is so good. And yes. And I know this to be true, but I know it's that culturally, there are some norms that are not necessarily aligned with that. So ladies, we're telling you what we know to be true. This is not make believe. This is what we know to be true. This is protecting you. This is helping you to be successful, right? This is all about being successful. We know what it takes to be successful. We're giving you some advice. You can do something different, thinking something different. But basically, if you listen to Dr. Wynn, she's telling you what she knows about relationships. And I can tell you that's how I live my life. And I have not had a bad relationship, because I take my time to get into them. Like I don't get into relationships until I know more, right? I'm ending this relationship after an extended period of time because we've grown, there's some things that are different, and, I'm in a different space and whatever, whatever you want to think about it, but amazing dude. I got no problems with him, right? Exactly. We're in a different place. We now have different values, and
that's okay.
That's okay, right? It's like we're consciously uncoupling, as they say, right? And that's a good thing. So back to the conversation for women, again, just hear us practice. The beauty of this is you can't, going back to what you just said, I want to just add a little bit of foundation and tell me if you agree with this or not, because I do think some women cross that line before they should. I think that's probably the biggest mistake, would you say, that when women start dating, they cross the line, the sexual line, before they've even figured out if this guy is worthy?
Yes, I definitely think that is a huge setback for us. It doesn't mean all is lost. Although I have talked to a lot of married women, because one of the counsels I direct is called the Wise Wives Counsel. And they have told me, oh, honey, you need to get you another man. Try again. I'm going, what? So when the question is posed, so what happens if you slept with him or you're kind of living with him or something like that? And oh no, get you another one. What? Get another one? Just like that? Okay. So, but here's the thing. I teach my couples that this is my man ear and this is my woman's ear. I have listened to couples, men individually, women individually, and I can hear, whether it's in the couples or individually, the conversations, their thoughts, their most vulnerable, most honest spaces. And men are aware of the value of a woman that's not sleeping around. So what happens is you fall off and this guy is awesome and you get seduced because you really wanted to do it. And here you are, now you're having sex and it's like, oh, that was great. Okay, now in his mind, what's happening now is, oh, she was pretty easy to do that with. And then you say,
I don't normally do this, right? You say that, but all they know is what you did. So I would be wondering the same thing too. Like,
exactly.
Really? Or do you think that low of yourself? I mean, some women just want to go do the thing, right? And that's okay.
Right. That's okay.
Clear. Just to be clear, if you want to go have to do it, do it.
Go do your thing. Exactly.
You're basically saying if you're looking for a relationship with someone and you're not just out to have some fun, which is nothing wrong with that, ladies. Just to be clear, nothing wrong with that. If that's what you choose,
just be safe. Be safe.
Thank you very much. Thank you for putting that out. We're just recommending that's probably not the ideal way to find a husband.
Right. Exactly. Now that does not mean
right.
That does not mean it does not happen from there. I do know there are situations where they did that on the first date and they're married and that's okay.
For 50 years and it all worked out. So it can absolutely happen. So no one write us and say we don't know what we're talking about, because every situation is unique. What we're basically saying is don't be too easy, because he's going to be looking at you crazy anyway, wondering how many other men were you easy for. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that's perfect. That's exactly right. Exactly. Right. And that's what that's what the men have told me.
Listen, my brothers loved me enough to tell me these very same things as a young girl as well. My brother told me specifically, my brother is a self-proclaimed, I'm gonna use this term, hoe. Like
all right.
Douglas, he's attractive.
Mm-hmm.
He's found the love of his life. So maybe he's a past self-proclaimed.
That was before. That was before
his current girlfriend.
Yes.
But he would say this. He's on record saying this about himself. But he's also on record telling me that men, him being, one of the best in the business, right? Having his skills. Basically, he's like, it's like fishing. Like my grandmother used to take us fishing. Right. Women, like, you remember what you just said about that smile and having that energy and having that glow? Well, he had his charm. He's that Southern charm on at all times.
Absolutely.
Hey, so he would be throwing out compliments to women just to see, just to see, put a smile on their face. And if someone was crazy enough, no, I'm just joking, to
someone who hasn't done her work, so she doesn't know her value, and so that's easy to reel her in. She doesn't expect it, so she's reeled in now.
But absolutely. Now she's gotten a compliment. She's gotten a compliment. She's gotten a smile and some charm, and she thinks that is unique to you, as opposed to a player potentially out there fishing and just throwing the line out and seeing who he can catch. He's like, if I don't catch this one, I'll catch the next one. It's just like fishing. Like that's not even thinking twice about it.
Exactly.
Literally, this is me throwing out the rod. So, ladies, I'm just saying, this is, like I said, I'll see if I can bring my brother on. I don't think he'll do it because then he get all of his tricks out in the street.
Right? No, you're not gonna put your brother on Front Street like that. No, I'll tell it. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I'm just telling you what I know from what they have told me as well. My older brother passed away, but he was also not a player. He was definitely not. But they told us kind of made it very clear, so we knew how to best navigate through life as a lady.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what
doesn't mean you can't go out and handle your business by all means. So don't let any lady who's a a feminist who has her sexual revolution and wants to go out and do whatever she wants to do. We're not saying that is a problem. We're saying that is not our strategy.
Right.
For moving into
not if you're looking, right, exactly. Not if you're looking for that. And you're looking for a certain type of guy. Again, I work with successful women. So they are generally looking for successful, upwardly mobile men who are not intimidated by them and their success. So there are guys who they don't care what you do or whatever, and they'll be glad to just be in your presence because that's what they want. That's what they don't have, and you have it and they want it. So but I am definitely referring to a certain type of man, and in that high quality, high value realm. So there's that. That's that. I'm going to be doing some more, because there are things like you can get caught up. How do I know if it's real? And that sort of thing. Those types of questions come up. The first part is you have to definitely do your own work for yourself. So you will be able to identify certain red flags. And I wouldn't have time to do that in this video, but I am offering the successful woman, the powerhouse woman, the alpha woman, a live event.
Oh, yes, yes. This is coming up.
Yes, it's January 30th. It is live in person in the Metro Phoenix area. It's Glendale, Arizona, which is the West Valley of Phoenix, Arizona. And it is going to be an awesome event. So remember how we just talked about how your brother and your dad talked to you about things? Well, I have a panel of high value men, all business owners, all successful, all wonderful men, called the Real Deal Men's Panel. And they're going to be there for our VIP guests, and they're going to talk and answer questions for our VIPs and tell it like it is. They're going to be some people's big brothers and fatherly figures that day. And they range in age, they range in businesses and things like that. So you'll have a good perspective of that. I also have later on the Wise Wives Counsel. Nice. So that for those women who are in relationships or going into or looking to get into relationships, the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and the favor of the Lord. So if you're looking to be married, you have to become a wife first. So that doesn't mean get married. That means have that energy about you. And the Wise Wives Counsel will talk to you about relationships, how to keep them in good standing, how to know a bad one when you're in it. It's okay to get out of that, and what to do to heal from a breakup or a negative relationship, because we have some who have had abusive relationships. And they went from she said she went from the bad to the better, I think she said, in her relationships. That's one of the Wise Wives. So we have that. Then we have a person who went from homelessness to millionaire. He's going to talk to you on what excuse me, on some of his strategies and what he's done and what you can do to help yourself in that. Then we have an assessment that's going to be done. This assessment is a very unique, where you can't get it. You can't just go somewhere. You won't be able to go to a therapist and get it. But we have a celebrity therapist. She's going to do an assessment for our VIP guests, where you're going to be able to identify how you connect with or attach to your monies and your work, and whether or not that's something that is holding you back. For example, a lot of times as women, we have difficulty charging the way we need to charge, or asking for the raise, or negotiating a higher position or something like that. So we're going to have that there as well. And then I'm going to talk. I have a lot more information. So
this sounds so amazing. Is it possible? Do you have a flyer that you could potentially share? I don't like to date these videos, because all the information is timeless, but this particular thing we got to make sure people are well aware of. We got to put this one out into the universe. Oh, that's gorgeous.
This is the first flyer. This is Becoming Powerful Now. As you can see, that will be me in the corner. I'm the executive producer of the event. And you'll see there ladies who are wearing crowns. Those are the Black Globe International Queens, and they will help host the event as well. Black Globe International is an international pageant focused on Black women who are grown and sexy, that 18 and better, with 3 divisions: the Miss division, Ms., MS division, and Mrs. division.
I love that.
Yes. So the general admission starts at 11 a.m. and the VIP starts at 8 a.m. As well as, let me see if I have one other one here.
For the real deal men's panel.
Yes. Can you see that? Oh my goodness.
I am so excited about that. I just think, so this whole conference is about becoming powerful now. Yes. In your health, in your wealth, in your relationships. And now you're going to help us. Now you're going to add in for the VIP participants. They get this real deal men's panel. Yes, I would love to see that flyer if you have it.
Absolutely. All right, let me see. Stop share and let's try sharing again.
I love it. When I saw this panel, all I could think was, this is exactly what our community needs right now. So many of us. Absolutely. Whoa, powerful.
Yes. Many of these are doctors. I have an entertainer who is actually a singer. He's on tour right now, actually. And one of them is a 7-time fitness medal winner. So we have those high value men who often women are looking for. I would say this though, you don't have to have a doctor's title or anything like that. There are men who work in things like construction and truck driving and things like that. Those men are high value men. They are good men. They are taking care of their family kind of men. So, just be aware of that as well as you're out and about smiling. Make sure you're smiling. So, yeah.
always. So this says high value men get real, honest about understanding men, how to attract them, how to keep them, and more. Wow.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is, if you're going to do this conference, you need to do the VIP, because only the VIP will actually have an opportunity to experience these amazing men in this the real deal men's panel.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. Well, and also you're going to, this event, if I'm correct, because I'm going to definitely post this out there for people. This event is actually going to also support the National Black MBA Association Leaders of Tomorrow. That is so exciting.
Yes, I am looking forward to that. I'm going to give a portion of the ticket sales to the organization. This organization has been doing wonderful, wonderful things for the youth, and I absolutely look forward to supporting that. Absolutely.
That is so awesome. So National Black MBA Association, whoever you are, wherever you are, this is for you. This is exactly what we need. Thank you so much, Dr. Wynn. This was amazing.
Let me just put this little piece of information out.
Ooh, yes.
This is a woman's conference. Mm-hmm. It's one day, once a year. It's an intensive day. Absolutely. This is a woman's conference. So we have men who are coming in to give their input and their information. However, there will be a time in the conference that men will be excused from the room, because that's when we get down to. So just so you know, so ladies, don't bring your husbands. They're not going to be on my stage. Don't bring them with you. Go ahead and send them off to get you some go buy you a massage gift certificate or something. So yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to
once a year,
1 day.
Wow.
Yes, it is a Sunday. It is a Sunday. So get prayed up, because it is 8 a.m. to 4. So there won't be a service during the event, but just so you know, it's this 1 day, once a year.
Wow. So exciting. Thank you so much for bringing this to us and for bringing such high quality people to these panels. Oh my goodness. I'm excited. And this is what I do too. I'm like, oh my God, this is perfection. Thank you, Dr. Wynn. Anything else you want to share with just on the topic of what's happening with this event?
Well, I definitely.
Oh, what about the cost? I don't. People are asking. I didn't see.
Oh, yes. Well, the VIP cost right now is, well, first of all, let me say this. If you are having individual sessions, if you spent even 1 hour with any one of the people that are going to be here, you would pay anywhere from $250 to $500. You're going to have, what is that, 8 to 4? What is that, 8 hours? Yeah, 8 hours with these movers and shakers. This would be a $5,000 to $10,000 conference if you were going to pay this individually. The VIP price is only $250. And as I said, a portion of your proceeds will benefit the National
Black MBA Association.
The National Black MBA Association, the youth program, absolutely. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. And I love to give to women. So there will be opportunities for drawings and prizes and things like that for sure. Yes.
So exciting. Thank you, Dr. Wynn. This has been so awesome. Wow. The Getting Powerful. Say the title of the event.
Becoming Powerful Now. And we can put a link below so they can get their tickets or get more information. We can do something like that.
Now.
Yes, becomingpowerfulnow.com.
Health, wealth, and relationships. Becoming Powerful. Is that what it is?
Becomingpowerfulnow.com. Yes.
Becomingpowerfulnow.com. You heard it here. Thank you, Dr. Wynn.